Hello. So the topic for today is Parliament and State Legislature. Structure, function, powers, privileges, conduct of business, and issues arising out of them. So first of all, what is parliamentary system, right? Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, what is parliamentary system? It is a political system we follow here in India, right? So what are the features of it? Close relationship between legislator and executive. There is the executive is responsible to legislature. There is bicameral legislature. These executives don't have fixed tenures, and dual executive, that is we have president and we have PM, head of government and head of state. So what are the merits of this system? Obviously parliamentary system was adopted because of the stability, because that is a responsible government. So it is a responsible government, better coordination between legislature and executive. These legislators represent diverse group. In parliamentary system there is flexibility, that is power sharing agreements, coalitions, which is important for a country that is as diverse as India. And then we were familiar with this system because of the British colonialism, right? What are the demerits of this system now? There is no separation of power, unlike America, right? The legislators might be unqualified, which we are seeing today. For example, this guy, failure to take prompt decision. Like Donald Trump, just think about the tariffs by Donald Trump. That was a very prompt decision, right? So we cannot take prompt decisions such here. Then the functions of parliament. What are the functions of parliament? There are various functions that parliament performs. There are some legislative function, executive function, judicial functions, constituent assembly function, there are some financial functions, there are some electoral functions. In legislative functions, there is obviously law-making power, law-making authority over union list and residual subjects and a concurrent list. There is state-list legislation in specific cases, and then obviously there is ordinance, right? Then we also have the executive function. That is, executive is responsible for its action to legislature, right? You can also write example as MP lads. Then and the judicial function. The judicial function में क्या आएगा? Impeachment of president, vice president, judges, election commissioner क्या आएगा? Then constituent power में it can amend the constitution. Then financial power में there is budget approval, it approves the budget. There is financial scrutiny of how executives spend their bucks. And electoral function में participate in the election of president, vice president, speaker, deputy speaker and deputy chairman. Then we have we'll just go through issues and way forward. This was the functions. What functions does parliament perform in India? That is legislative, executive, judicial, constituent assembly, electoral and financial. Just think on these lines, and then we'll study what are the problems in this in our parliament, and then what can we do, what are the solutions to those problems. So now key issues, right? First of all, Rajya Sabha mein there are 10 states which occupy 70% of the seats. This is because the seats are based on the population of the state, unlike America. Then राज्य सभा का then we'll come to passing of bills. फाइनेंशियल रूट से बिल पास करे जाते हैं. Lack of debate नहीं हो रही because of the voice vote system. There is ordinance route. 76% of budget passed without discussion. Very important. 76% of budget passed without discussion. Lack of debate, ordinance route, passing out bill through financial route. We'll just quickly make a topic RS, bills, and LS, Parliament, and Chairman, MP. Okay, now chairman का speaker / chairman का there are always bias accusations, allegations of biasness. No deputy speaker in 7th legislature, in 17th Lok Sabha. For parliament, it meets only 70 days now. Before in 1950, it was 120 days. There is also the productivity of parliament is reducing day by day. Now, members of parliament. Private bills are majorly undiscussed. These MPs are absent. They lack the capacity. They lack the research and development skill. There is criminalization of politics. Women representation is going down. So again, RSY, what are the key issues? Think on these lines, okay? RSY, what is there? Okay, 10% of states are occupying 10 states are occupying 70% of seats. Bill में क्या है? There is financial route, there is financial bill route, there is ordinance route, there are no debates happening, and 76% of budget was passed without discussion only. Then Lok Sabha में what is the problem? Parliament basically 70 days working as opposed to 120 days in 1950. Chairman, they are biasness allegation, and there is no deputy speaker in 17th Lok Sabha. MP, and also because of low working days, there is also productivity reducing. For MP, they lack the capacity. They have no R&D, criminalization, women representation is reducing. They remain absent, right? So these are the issues in our parliament right now. Did we miss something? Yes, private bills are majorly undiscussed. I missed that. Now, what are the solutions to these problems? First of all, RS में you have an appointment commission you have an appointment commissions like that of in UK. Indian legislative services formed this new service for technical and human resource competency in parliament. Give them the training, give them the support that is needed, right? Revival of parliamentary forums, which act as a platform to discuss the critical ideas for MP. On these NCR, WC, what this report said, that defectors should be debarred from holding public office in the future. Very important. National Committee for Revision of Working Constitution or something like that. Defectors should be debarred. Again, what that said, you define and delimit the privileges, shift away from the voice voting system that is currently used in our parliament. Give R&D support. Code of conduct and code of ethics must be clearly defined, and MPs must be educated about it. Increase the number of sittings, increase the number of working days, give them more training, right? So what was it? What we need to solve. First of all, Indian legislative service form karo, uh, parliamentary forums, R&D support, training, number of days, and Rajya Sabha में appointment commission like that of in UK. Right? Then we missed the NCRWC. It said, it was, just remember like this, this committee was mostly about the Instagram PEM. डिफेक्टर्स को फ्यूचर से डिबार कर दो, फ्यूचर ऑफिस होल्डिंग से, एंड डिफाइन एंड लिमिट privileges, code of ethics and code of conduct must be defined properly. Okay, so this is mostly it. Then we come to parliamentary sovereignty. There has been a PYQ on this. There has been a PYQ on most of these topics again. Parliamentary sovereignty means supremacy of parliament, supremacy of legislative body over all other government institutions. What does it mean? Supremacy of the legislative body over all other government institutions. Right? Obviously, in India there is no parliamentary supremacy. There is only constitutional sovereignty. What provisions provide for parliamentary supremacy, and what is the check to Indian parliamentary supremacy? Right? First, these are very simple subheadings to remember. First of all, the legislature controls the executive through no confidence motion. There is emergency. The parliament can make law or for any part or whole of India. The residuary power is to the parliament on subject list when national emergency is in operation. It can also make rules on subject list when Rajya Sabha passes a provision. Right? So executive के ऊपर उसका control है. It can make laws on entire India. Executive, emergency, and residuary power and subject state list के ऊपर and during emergency, and although this is covered under the emergency power. So just mention the RS a little bit. It controls the executive, emergency, whole India, state list के ऊपर भी बना सकते हैं, and residuary powers obviously. What is the check to Indian parliamentary sovereignty? First of all, ये president ही veto कर देंगे ज़्यादा. If you are trying to get parliamentary sovereignty, president will veto. There is written constitution which provides for constitutional supremacy, and there is supremacy of constitution. Then what are the other instruments we have? Judicial review, basic structure doctrine, limited amendment process, and fundamental rights. This is a new topic, that what are the mechanisms to ensure executive accountability. Mechanism available to legislature: 0R, question hour, debates and discussion, motions and resolutions, vote and account, and budgetary approval. Just remember this: question hour, 0R, debates and discussion, motions and resolution, and vote on account, and budgetary approval. Oh, we missed it from here. Now next topic is parliamentary sovereignty. Parliamentary privileges, sorry. Parliamentary privileges. That is legal immunity enjoyed by the members of legislature. Now there are some individual privileges and then there are some collective privileges. What are the individual privileges? Cannot be arrested, 40 दिन पहले 40 दिन के बाद. Freedom of speech exempted from jail duty. Only these two are important. Cannot be arrested and freedom of speech. Then what are the collective privileges? That is, what privileges does the Lok Sabha have as a house, right? It has the right to publish its proceedings, it reports and debates. It has the rights to publish its proceedings, वगैरह, make rules for themselves, punish their members, exclude strangers, and courts are prohibited to inquire into proceedings of the house. No person can be arrested without the permission of presiding officer. So again, publish its recording, make rules for themselves, punish unke members, exclude strangers, courts are prohibited to inquire into proceedings. No person can be arrested without permission of the presiding officer. Now what are the significance of these privileges? Why are these privileges given? Because MPs have freedom of speech on the floor of the house. They can be expected to it can be expected that we'll get honest and open debates. They don't have the fear, right? Okay, someone will arrest us if we say something wrong. So it ensures independence and integrity. They can perform their duty and responsibility without the fear of intimidation. It safeguards democracy, and privileges include enforcing discipline. That is, example, suspension for disorderly conduct. Right? Yeah. So what is the significance? Honest and open. Look at me. Honest and open debates, no fear, so they will perform their duties and responsibility without any fear. They will have independence and integrity of the house. Then yes, all these safeguard democracy, and they can enforce punishment. To enforce discipline, they can punish and include enforcing discipline. Okay. Now what are the challenges? Obviously, first is misuse. There's ambiguity in definition, no accountability mechanism for conduct under privileges, erodes public trust when MP invokes a privilege in a matter perceived as unethical, and violates equality before law. First of all, there is a misuse. This is a misuse of what if they misuse, and these are so ambiguous. There's ambiguity in the definition. There's no accountability mechanism for conduct under privileges. Erodes public trust when invoked privileges perceived as unethical, and this violates equality before law. Just assume an example of an opposition minister talking crap on the floor of the house, right? So what is happening is, floor of the minister, floor of the house, he's using his privilege of freedom of speech to say wrong things about for someone, let's say for our prime minister. So first of all, he's misusing it, right? There is no accountability for this because he has invoked his privileges. So now there is no accountability. He's misusing it, right? And then someone will say that you cannot see this, but he'll say I have the freedom of speech. But what exactly is freedom of speech? कुछ भी थोड़ी बोल दोगे. So there is ambiguity in the in definition of freedom of speech. And also the thing is, this is eroding public trust कि ये क्या बात हो रहा है, कुछ भी बोल रहा है तो. uh, against a favorite leader or something, and then we cannot say this, but this guy can say. So this is a violation of equality, right? Then the thing was, then the topic was just codify the privileges. Whatever privileges you have, codify them, right? But we have not codified it. But so the argument is why to codify. First of all, ambiguity to निकल जाएगी codify. So you'll have this is the privilege and you are overreaching this privilege. So ambiguity हट जाएगी, misuse नहीं होगा, accountability होगी, smooth, it will lead to smooth functioning and judicial scrutiny. If someone is misusing the privilege, they'll have to face judicial scrutiny. Then, but why not to codify? There is called judicial encroachment कि इसको तो अंदर लाना था. Then it's a complex and lengthy process, right? Loss of flexibility which is required for enforcing required circumstances. What Parliament says is, this is not a bug, this is a feature. We need flexibility for unforeseen circumstances. फिर बोला कि no, you have to do this. So बोला complex and lengthy process है ये आप, this guy will encroach us. So in the state of Kerala versus Ajit's case, privileges are not gateways to claim exemption from general law of land. Now someone thought you can say anything on the floor of the house, and he's coming to say this on a normal place. So no, you cannot. They are not gateways to claim exemption from general law of land. General law of land will apply on you. There is no exemption for that. In Australia, they codified and it led to judicial scrutiny. That's it. Then parliamentary scrutiny. Basically, parliament is working and someone will look at how the parliament is working. Why is there need for parliamentary scrutiny? Imagine parliament as a kid and parliamentary scrutiny is parent. So why is there need? First of all, it needs accountability and transparency, a check on the power. It will lead to quality of legislation. It will lead to improved governance. So the kid will do properly his chores, proper allocation of resources, and it will avoid mistakes, avoid hasty legislation. Accountability, transparency, check on power of executive. This will lead to quality of legislation, improved governance, and the kid will do properly his thing and avoid mistakes. Proper allocation of resources, avoid hasty legislation. Why do we don't have parliamentary scrutiny? Why we don't have that? First of all, the centre lacks will to have parliamentary scrutiny. There is always a hurry to pass bill. The opposition is weak. There is short legislative session. No time to scrutinize. Public apathy towards parliamentary scrutiny. So there are three players in this. There is Modi ji, there is Rahul, RG, and then there is you. So Modi ji there is no will, lack of will, and there is always a hurry to pass. There is weak opposition, public apathy, and the last thing is the sessions are so short that even if you wanted to scrutinize, you could not scrutinize because there is no time. What instruments for scrutiny we do have right now? First of all, obviously the responsibility part, that is Executive is responsible to the legislature. There are motions. There are standing committees that carry out the review of government policy. There is judicial review. There is financial accountability, budget process, CAG, public account committee, voter pressure and opposition. So once again, there is collective responsibility. There are motions and resolution. There are committees, motions and resolutions. There are committees. There is judicial accountability. There is financial accountability through the budget, through CAG, and through public account committee. You have to remember this: financial accountability through budget process, CAG, and public accountability. Then there is voter pressure and opposition. Then way forward, empower committees. What do we do now? Parliamentary scrutiny is important. So what do we do to get that? Right? So first of all, we empower the committees. We give them more power. We give them more tools to research, and we increase the engagement with the committees. The most easy part is doing this committee. So just do this. Committees से parliamentary scrutiny increase कर दो. Then there is budget, link it to the outcomes. Then there is CAG, increase the power, public access to reports, expert support to MP, training of MP, discussion of all the reports, public engagement, foster culture of financial accountability at state level, public engagement and advocacy. Right? So again, this was parliamentary scrutiny. What is parliamentary scrutiny? Why there is need? There's a kid playing and the mom saying accountability, transparency, and check on power. This will lead to better legislation. This will lead to improved governance. This will reduce hasty legislation, and this will make the child do better work. So improve resource allocation. Then the reasons why we lack parliamentary scrutiny. There is Modi ji, there is Rahul, and there is you. Modi ji में will नहीं है. There is hurry to pass the legislature. The opposition is weak, and the public don't have apathy, right? And then the parliamentary sessions are very short. Then instruments of scrutiny. What instruments of scrutiny we do have right now? There are motions. There is motions and questions are and resolutions. There is collective responsibility. There are committees. Finance के लिए what is that? Budget process, CAG, and parliamentary account committee, public account committee. Then we have judicial review, voter pressure, opposition. Then what way forward? अभी आगे कह रही हैं. What do we do to better the parliamentary scrutiny, right? What do we do to better the parliamentary scrutiny? For the easiest option is improve the committees. Give them more power, give them more engagement, give them more resources so they can research better. The committee there should be more time devoted to scrutiny, to discussions, then training of MP, then CAG का है, then discussion of all the reports. As I said, जो भी CAG report दे रहा है उसका make it sense that public can access those reports. Foster a culture of financial accountability at state level. Now, Parliamentary Standing Committee. What are the Parliamentary Standing Committee? It is given in pre-notes. This maybe I'll put it in the description box so you can see it. Significance. Parliamentary Standing Committee significance. Parliamentary Standing Committee significance. What does this do? Basically, right? Very simple. It legislative expertise, right? Instrument of detailed scrutiny, expertise देता है, scrutinize करता है, act as a mini parliament, check on government, engagement with relevant source stakeholders. So just this is the parliamentary committee, this is the parliament basically, and ये जो भी bill बनाएंगे ये bill then goes to parliamentary standing committee to review. They see that, they use their expertise, they give their expertise, they scrutinize कि ये गलत है ये सही है. They keep a check on government कि ये गलत है भाई, फिर वापस इनको देते हैं check on government. They also talk to relevant stakeholders. Then what are the issues of the parliamentary standing committee? There is time constraint, resource constraint. Time नहीं है, they don't have money. Poor attendance of member. MPs are not coming to the committees. Political influence, recommendation nature, limited transparency, lack expertise. Now what are the issues? Time नहीं है, पैसा नहीं है, लोग नहीं आ रहे, इनका नेचर इज़ ओनली रिकमेंडेशन, आ रहे हैं तो पॉलिटिकली इन्फ्लुएंस हो जा रहा है, इनके जो आ भी रहे हैं उनके पास लैक ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज़. अगेन व्हाट आर द इश्यूज इन पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी? टाइम नहीं है, पैसा नहीं है, लोग नहीं आ रहे, लोग आ रहे तो उनके पास एक्सपर्टीज़ नहीं है, लोग आ रहे हैं तो उन पॉलिटिकली इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाता है. द नेचर इज़ वेरी recommendation, right? And yeah, I guess. So what do we do to improve, to strengthen these committees? First of all, we need to give them more power to enforce the recommendation. Don't make them just recommendation in nature. Make the recommendation binding. Give these reports to public, so public का भी pressure बनेगा. Encourage then research. They lacked money and all that, right? Time नहीं, पैसा नहीं, so research and secretarial support दे दो to committee. Participation and attendance increase करो through either incentives or penalties. Transparency law in committee proceeding, and adopt the best practices. Such as Sweden, committee hold public hearings. In Sweden, where committees hold public hearing. So first of all, give them more power to enforce their recommendations. Then give their work to public, so that will also create more pressure, right? Then इनको research and secretarial staff दो. Then participation increase करो through either incentives or penalties. Then transparency law committee के proceeding में. Then adopt the best practices such as Sweden, which holds public hearings, right? So what was this topic? This topic was parliamentary standing committees. What was the significance? Significance was वो उनका एक्सपर्टीज़ दे रहे हैं, वो स्क्रूटिनाइज कर रहे हैं, वो गवर्नमेंट पे चेक रख रहे हैं. दे आर ऑल्सो टॉकिंग टू वेरियस रेलेवेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स. इशू क्या है? टाइम नहीं है, पैसा नहीं है, लोग नहीं आ रहे, लोग आ रहे तो एक्सपर्टीज़ नहीं है, लोग आ रहे हैं तो पॉलिटिकली इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाता है, एंड देयर रिपोर्ट्स आर रिकमेंडरी इन नेचर. तो क्या किया जाए? उनको एनफोर्स करने का पावर दो. Give them support, research support and secretarial staff. Increase करो participation. उनका वर्क पब्लिक को भी दे दो. ट्रांसपेरेंसी लाओ उनके proceedings में. Adopt the best practices such as Sweden, which holds the committee hearings in public. Then we have Rajya Sabha. Why should we have one? And why should we not have one? First of all, Rajya Sabha, why does this even exist? This exists because of federal equilibrium. This exists for states, right? And Rajya Sabha mein we have last members, right? Literature, art, social service and science. Then prevent centralization of power. Why do we even have federalism? Because to prevent centralization of power. initiate proposals for public policy, and then there are special powers which I'm sure you remember from prelims. Why not have them? It gives backdoor entry. It basically deadlock create करता है by duplication. It lacks any sufficient power. The elections are indirect and the representation is unequal. Again, why do we have one? We have one for states for federal equilibrium, so as to not send सब power center को नहीं दे देती हैं. और राज्यसभा में last members हैं. They initiate proposals for public policy and they have some special powers, like creating all India services, like giving power to center to create legislate on stateless, right? Why should we not have one? Backdoor entry दे रहा है, duplicate of effort हो रहा है, lack of power, कोई real sufficient significant power तो है नहीं. The elections are indirect, so the members are undemocratically elected. Then unequal representation. Some states only have one seat. Some states have, then 10 states have 76% of seats. This is bad. Then state legislature. Second chamber utility. Why should we have one? And why should we not have one? Right? Second chamber के ज़्यादा more the merrier principle इधर चल रहा है. बर्डन शेयर हो जाएगा, कंसल्टेटिव प्रोसेस ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे, बेटर, ज़्यादा हाथ ज़्यादा काम, लेजिस्लेशन बेटर हो जाएगा, एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन मिल जाएगा. बट वो क्या रहा है एक्चुअली में? ये अननेसेसरी हाउस है और ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव हाउस है, बैकडोर एंट्री है. इट इज़ वेरी लिमिटेड एंड हैज़ लिमिट एक्सपेंसिव एंड हैज़ लिमिटेड पावर. सेकेंड ARC रिपोर्ट सर, legislative council must work as representatives of public Panchayat Raj institutions for PRIs. Then we'll study presiding officer, right? That is speaker or chairman. Why is it important? Why is speaker important? It is guardian of parliamentary convention, joint sitting, money bill can respecting power. Speaker can declare any bill as money bill, ensuring effectiveness of committees. Then maintain decorum in the house, disqualification in the anti-defection law, resolve deadlock, final interpreter of rules of house, safeguard privilege of member, power of adjournment, fix agenda of the house, and administrative, head of secretariat, communication, chairman of Indian Parliamentary Group. Why is speaker important? Joint sitting, money bill, guardian of parliamentary convention. फिर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव में हेड ऑफ सेक्रेटेरिएट, कम्युनिकेशन करा होता है, हेड ऑफ सेक्रेटेरिएट एंड चेयरमैन ऑफ इंडियन पार्लियामेंट्री ग्रुप इज इनफ. फिर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू लोकसभा इट्स मेंटेन डेकोरम, dequalification, final interpreter of the rules, safeguard of privilege of member, power of adjournment, fix agenda of the house. Way forward for speaker. So first of all, limit the role of speaker in anti-defection law because it has been criticized for showing biasness. Again, example of Mr. Raghav Chadda. Adopt Britain's model, that is speaker resigns from the his political party. Then performance based continuation. If impartial, then allowed to continue for next Lok Sabha. Restrict future political rules with some exceptions. एंटी डिफेक्शन में इसका रूल बंद कर दो, ब्रिटेन मॉडल, परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड कंटिन्यूएशन एंड फ्यूचर पॉलिटिकल रूल्स भी मत दो. इश्यूज विद द पोस्ट ऑफ स्पीकर, अगेन वही है, पार्शलिटी आ रही है, डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ मेंबर, डिस्क्रेशनरी पावर, इंट्रोड्यूस ऑर्डिनरी बिल एज मनी बिल, जुडिशियल रिव्यू इन मनी बिल, increase disruption, discretion in rules interpretation. Deputy Speaker, what are his responsibilities? Assumes the Speaker's duties in their absence, automatically become chairman of any parliamentary committee they are appointed to, preside over House proceedings when resolution for removal of Speaker. नीड क्या है? पार्लियामेंट प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ेगी, पार्लियामेंट फैसिलिटेटिंग पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी का है, ensuring uninterrupted proceedings, it is representing opposition. Issues, कोई टाइमलाइन ही नहीं दी है डेप्यूटी स्पीकर का अपॉइंट करने की. This is dependent on political party for re-election. Questions of neutrality persist due to potential party affiliations. LOP, leader of opposition. Leader of opposition, yes. Significance, shadow PM, alternative government, criticize policy, give contrary view, ensure transparency, provide safeguard. Shadow PM, alternative government, criticize policy, give contrary view, transparency and safeguard. Need for leader of opposition, checks and balances and for accountability. We'll study the anti-defection law afterwards, and that time we just come here again. I'll mark it here. Okay? So low participation of women in politics. Why are women important in politics? First of all, they will ensure gender sensitive approach, enhance responsiveness, breaking the cycle, challenges stereotypes, promote inner party democracy, elevate women in local body, diversity of perspective, equity and inclusiveness. So why are women important in politics? Gender sensitive polity, gender sensitive approach, enhance responsiveness, diversity of perspective, equity and inclusion, challenge stereotypes. Okay? Now, what are the challenges for women entering in politics? Political apathy, patriarchal influence, attitudinal barrier, low awareness, work-life balance, financial constraint. Political apathy, no one is interested in bringing women, right? Then घर से आने नहीं दे रहे, patriarchal influence, क्योंकि उनके पास पैसे नहीं है, फाइनेंशियल कंस्ट्रेंट, जॉब से टाइम नहीं मिल रहा, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, उनको पता भी नहीं है जा सकते हैं, लो अवेयरनेस एंड जाना नहीं है यार मुझे, एटीट्यूडनल बैरियर. पॉलिटिकल एपैथी, पेट्रियार्कल इन्फ्लुएंस, फाइनेंशियल, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, एटीट्यूडनल बैरियर, लो अवेयरनेस. Now again parliamentary committees. इसमें this is a bit more detailed than the one above. Okay. So committees. What are parliamentary committees? Parliamentary committee is a committee of members of parliament who are elected amongst a member of the house or nominated by the speaker or chairman. It is made up of MPs who are elected from amongst the members or are nominated. Classification, there are two types of committees: standing committee and ad hoc committee. Standing committees are the private permanent ones and they deal with specific areas of public policy, and ad hoc ones are non-permanent. They are created for specific purpose and then abolished after they have served their purpose. Ad hoc में there are basically either कुछ advice देने के लिए they are created और कुछ या फिर तो इंक्वायरी करने के लिए they are created. So इंक्वायरी हो सकता है या फिर एडवाइजरी ad hoc हो सकता है. अब क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ स्टैंडिंग कमिटीज़ में फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फाइनेंशियल कमिटीज़, फाइनेंस पे इंक्वायरी कमेटी, इंक्वायरी पे स्क्रूटनी कमेटी, देन डिपार्टमेंटल स्टैंडिंग कमेटी, देन रोज़ के लिए डे टू डे कमेटी एंड हाउस कीपिंग कमेटी. अगेन फाइनेंशियल, इंक्वायरी, स्क्रूटनी, डिपार्टमेंटल रिलेटेड स्टैंडिंग कमेटी, डे टू डे एंड हाउस कीपिंग कमेटी. फाइनेंशियल कमेटी में देयर इज़ पब्लिक अकाउंट कमेटी, देयर इज़ कमेटी ऑन पब्लिक अंडरटेकिंग, देयर इज एस्टिमेट कमेटी. कमेटी टू इंक्वायर में प्रिविलेजेस पे इंक्वायर करते हैं, पिटिशन पे इंक्वायर करते हैं, एथिक्स पे इंक्वायर करते हैं. देन देयर इज डिपार्टमेंटल रिलेटेड स्टैंडिंग कमेटी, कमेटी ऑन स्क्रूटिनाइज एंड कंट्रोल, डे टू डे कमेटी एंड हाउस कीपिंग कमेटी. राइट? What is the significance of these committees? Let's come here. In members of parliament के पास टाइम नहीं है. These are complementary. Members of parliament don't have enough time to go through each and every piece of legislation, right? So उनके पास टाइम नहीं है. So they do their work. So these are complementary to parliament. Members of parliament के पास दिमाग नहीं है. So they give their expertise. MPs लाइक भाई चेक करो तो थोड़ा ये, तो वो चेक करके देते हैं, स्क्रूटनी करते हैं और फिर बोलते हैं कि ये गलत है. तो फिर मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बोलेंगे ठीक है आप ही सजेस्ट कर दो क्या करें फिर. सो ये ग्रोथ के लिए भी करते हैं हेल्प, एंड दे हेल्प द मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट टू राइज अबाउट द पार्टी लाइन्स एंड फोकस ऑन द लेजिस्लेशन थिंग. सो फर्स्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री इन लॉ मेकिंग. Parliament only meets 70 to 80 days, not enough. Parliamentary committees perform detailed analysis and discussion on proposed bill to help legislation. Then क्या था कि दिमाग नहीं है उनके पास, so उनका expertise देते हैं. So parliamentary committees can consult the stakeholders to better understand and facilitate informed debate. So दिमाग नहीं है बराबर तो अभी चेक करो, स्क्रूटनी करो. सो दीज द कमिटी एंश्योर एग्जीक्यूटिव अकाउंटेबिलिटी इन फाइनेंशियल स्फीयर थ्रू स्क्रूटनी. पब्लिक अकाउंट कमिटी scrutinizes account and reports of CAG. Estimate committee does a detailed examination of budget estimate. Committee on government assurance scrutinizes various assured promises undertakings given by ministers. And then ये कि आप ही सजेस्ट कर दो कुछ. Estimates committee suggest alternative policies to bring about efficiency and growth in administration and economy. Whatever allows member to rise above the party lines, thus creating a space for more grounded debate. Now what are the issues in this parliamentary committees? The nature of these committee is in the nature of post-mortem. Legislature बनने के बाद they are analyzing. उसके बाद क्या होगा? जो recommendation दे भी रहे हैं वो नॉन बाइंडिंग है. उनसे एक recommendation दे रहे हैं उसके बाद डिस्कशन नहीं हो रहा. इनके बाद अभी तो बिल्स भी मिलना बंद हो गए. 17th लोकसभा में सिर्फ 13% बिल मिले थे एज अपोज टू 15th लोकसभा जहाँ पे मेजॉरिटी 71% बिल मिले थे. रिसोर्स कंस्ट्रेंट, इनके पास पैसा नहीं है, लोग नहीं है, टाइम नहीं है. लो अटेंडेंस ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ पब्लिक विजिबिलिटी. MP आ ही नहीं रहे, उनको यहाँ से विजिबिलिटी नहीं मिलेगी. MP आ ही नहीं रहे, क्या होगा फिर? एनफोर्समेंट ऑफ मैकेनिज्म फॉर एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन चाहिए. क्या करेंगे फिर? कंपलसरी सारे बिल कंपलसरी रेफ़र करना ही चाहिए PC को. इनकी रिसोर्स दे दो पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए, या फिर तो इंसेंटिव दो या फिर तो पेनल्टी लगाओ. रेगुलर मॉनिटरिंग एंड अप्रेजल. नाउ डिपार्टमेंट रिलेटेड पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमेटी. ये कोई स्पेसिफिक डिपार्टमेंट के ऊपर होगा, है ना. हर डिपार्टमेंट के पास अपना एक स्टैंडिंग कमेटी होगा एंड वो लोग देखेंगे बराबर काम चल रहा है या नहीं. सो उसका सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? ऑब्वियसली दिस इज़ नॉट पॉलिटिकल थिंग, राइट. सो यहाँ पे इम्पार्शियल प्रोसीडिंग होती है. कुछ बायस नहीं है यहाँ पे, पॉलिटिकल बायस। फ्लेक्सिबल प्रोसीजर रहता है, बिकॉज कभी किसी से बात कर ली, कोई एक्सपर्ट को बुला लिया, कोई एक्स्ट्रा स्टेक होल्डर को बुला लिया, है ना। देयर इज फ्लेक्सिबल प्रोसीजर. Opposition parties and Rajya Sabha members can play a more significant role in exercising financial control over executive through department-related standing committee system, है ना। यहाँ पे बाहर के लोगों को भी आने का मौका मिल रहा है, यहाँ पे अपोजिशन और आरएस को मिल रहा है. DRC can seek expert and public opinion. Again, same. This system detail enhance continuous parliamentary control. This is detail enhance and continuous parliamentary control. Inclusive participation सबको आने का मौका मिल रहा है. Bring efficiency in public expenditure, right? This was departmental related standing committee. What was the advantage? These are impartial, है ना. यहाँ पे flexible है रूट. यहाँ पे अपोजिशन और राज्यसभा को ज़्यादा का चांस मिल रहा है टू कंट्रोल, एक्सरसाइज कंट्रोल ऑन एग्जीक्यूटिव, है ना. सो दिस इज़ क्वाइट इंक्लूसिव, है ना. सो ये लोग एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन, पब्लिक ओपिनियन भी सीख कर सकते हैं. एंड सो दिस इज़ डिटेल एंड कंटिन्यूस पार्लियामेंट्री कंट्रोल. इनके पास डिटेल है और कंटिन्यूस है, ऐसा नहीं है ना, एड हॉक नहीं है, ये परमानेंट है. सो इनके पास डिटेल और कंटिन्यूस है. एंड दे ब्रिंग efficiency in public expenditure. They bring efficiency in public expenditure. Now, what are the issues? These meetings are behind closed door. There is no transparency, sadly. Non-binding recommendations, limited support, weak attendance, selective referrals of bill. Same problem सबके पास साथ. Now, ethics committee. Ethics committee is to enforce the code of ethics, है ना. Both houses have their own ethics committee. Lok Sabha has 15-member ethics committee. Rajya Sabha has 10-member ethics committee. What are the powers of ethics committee? It advises MP को advise करेगा. MP ने कुछ गलत किया तो investigate करेगा, उसका penalty recommend करेगा. The entire house decides on committee's recommendation. जो भी रिकमेंड देगा उसको एंटायर हाउस डिसाइड्स. नाउ व्हाट आर द दिक्कत? अनएथिकल बिहेवियर इज नॉट डिफाइंड एंड कमिटीज रिजिड व्यू एंड एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड कैन हिंडर PM MP फ्रॉम अडॉप्टिंग इवॉल्विंग नॉर्म्स. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल डिफाइंड नहीं है तो मिसयूज़ हो सकता है, एंड अच्छे यूज़ को भी रिजिड व्यू के ड्यू टू वो लोग निकाल सकते हैं. सो अनडिफाइंड एंड रिजिड व्यू. क्या वे फॉरवर्ड क्या है? डिफाइन करो, फ्लेक्सिबल बनाओ, ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन इन्वेस्टिगेशन लाओ और MP को एजुकेट करो. डिफाइन, फ्लेक्सिबल, ट्रांसपेरेंसी, MP एजुकेशन. Now very good topic, that is parliamentary oversight. What is parliamentary oversight? Just imagine this executive that is a child and यहाँ पे legislature is the parent, right? So continuous monitoring and evaluation. Continuous monitoring and evaluation of the kid of the executive by the legislature, ensuring accountability, transparency, responsiveness in government. Ensuring accountability, transparency, responsibility in government. Accountability, transparency, responsiveness of the government. अभी पार्लियामेंट्री ओवरसाइट का व्हाट इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेसिस? आर्टिकल 75 CA, काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू लोकसभा. पार्लियामेंट्री डिवाइसेस और क्या है? मोशन, रेजोल्यूशन, एडजर्नमेंट, नो कॉन्फिडेंस, डिबेट्स, क्वेश्चन आवर, कमेटी रिपोर्ट्स, ये सब पार्लियामेंट्री डिवाइस हैं. मोशंस, रेजोल्यूशंस, डिबेट्स, क्वेश्चन आवर्स, कमेटी रिपोर्ट्स, है ना. challenges in undermining oversight. अभी क्यों नहीं रख पा रहा ध्यान उसके बच्चे पे, दैट इज़ ऑन एग्जीक्यूटिव। क्वेश्चन आर का स्टेटस देख लेते हैं। 17th लोकसभा, ओनली 60% ऑफ क्वेश्चन आर फंक्शनैलिटी। RS में तो उससे भी कम 52। डिसरप्शन हो रहा है, उठ के कोई चिल्लाने लग रहा है, फिर तुम एडजर्न करना ही पड़ेगा, है ना। स्टैंडिंग कमेटी का जनरेट डिटेल रिपोर्ट, बट दे आर रेयरली डिस्कस, रिपोर्ट्स डिस्कस नहीं हो रहे। कोई परमानेंट एक्सपर्ट नहीं है स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में। मेंबरशिप रोटेशन हो रही है, reduces domain expertise and hinders institutional memory. Lack of post legislative scrutiny, like for example जैसे साइमन कमीशन था for 1919 के रिपोर्ट पे, there is no पोस्ट लेजिस्लेटिव स्क्रूटनी कि ये लेजिस्लेचर बनाया था, ये सही चल रहा है, इसको कुछ चेंज करने की दिक्कत है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। नो डेप्यूटी स्पीकर सिंस 2019। अगेन व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस इन पार्लियामेंट्री स्क्रूटनी, क्यों नहीं रख पा रहा। क्वेश्चन आर 17th लोकसभा में 60% हो गया, राज्यसभा में 52% हो गया। कोई उठ के चिल्लाने लगा है, एंड द बेबी इज स्टार्टिंग टू क्राई, फ्रीक्वेंट डिस्क्रिप्शन, देन मदर हैज़ टू एडजर्न द बेबी कि चले जाए यहाँ से, फ्रीक्वेंट एडजर्नमेंट। फिर इसके ऊपर रिपोर्ट आ रही है कि स्टैंडिंग कमेटी की रिपोर्ट आ रही है तो डिस्कस नहीं हो रहा है। स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में खुद भी देर आर नो परमानेंट एक्सपर्ट्स, राइट, देर मेंबरशिप रोटेट्स, सो इट हिंडर्स इंस्टीट्यूशन मेमोरी। देर इज़ लैक ऑफ पोस्ट लेजिस्लेटिव स्क्रूटिनी, इन फ्यूचर कुछ भी नहीं है, पास का जो भी बनाया था। No deputy speaker since 2019. So what reforms need to be taken? Institutionalizing post-legislative scrutiny. Even British did this, so why not? We should obviously do this. Post-legislative scrutiny. Create a dedicated subcommittee under each departmental related standing committee. What is the UK model? Departments submit a law implementation review after 3 to 5 years, examined by expert. Wow, UK. Subcommittee under departmental related standing committee. Then committees mandate debate on departmental reports in regional language, use infographic videos, etc. Use technology, AI and big data tools to track expenditure trends, support MP in informing evidence-based research, digitize and make public all the committee reports, fix question hours, penalize disruptions and PM questions, and let members ask PM questions. That is UK based. So parliamentary oversight, why is parliament not able to have oversight on its kid, that is executive? That is because of question hour is not able, the baby keeps crying, frequent adjournment, disruptions, adjournment, departmental related standing committee, उसका भी खुद का है, no institution memory, no expert, permanent experts, no post legislative scrutiny, and no deputy speaker. There is a parliamentary oversight. उसको फिक्स कैसे करेंगे? Have a post legislative scrutiny. Have committees के ऊपर you should discuss, it is mandatory. Use technology. Help MP informing evidence-based research. Digitize and make the public all the committee reports. Fix question hours. Penalize disruptions and PM questions like UK based. Now parliamentary productivity. Recent occurrences of diminished productivity and functioning in parliament. Diminished productivity and functioning, कि उसका प्रोडक्टिविटी नीचे जा रहा है, Lack of thorough scrutiny of bill. In 70% in 17th Lok Sabha, 60% of bills were passed within the 2 weeks of introduction. Scrutiny नहीं होगी ठीक से. Decreasing referral of bills to parliamentary committees. Bills are not being referred to the standing committees. Declining attendance. Now, what are the reasons for decline? काम ही नहीं करते, आ ही नहीं रहे लोग, इतने दिन आते हैं, अटेंडेंस नहीं है, आ रहा तो डिस्ट्रक्शन होता है, आ रहा तो कोई मस्ती कर रहा है. स्क्रूटिनी नहीं हो रही जो भी लेजिस्लेचर का बिल इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ है, बिकॉज स्ट्रॉन्ग गवर्नमेंट with absolute majority bypasses scrutiny. Reports highlight that many MP are involved in business that directly relate to their legislative duties. Conflict of interest. Intense media coverage often lead to MP engage in more dramatic posturing rather than engaging in substantive debate. Why is productivity declining? आ ही नहीं रहा, अटेंडेंस ठीक है, आ रहा तो दे आर क्राइंग, अंदर ही अंदर उनका प्रॉफिट बना रहे, देयर इज कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, और उनको पता है कि ये टॉपिक बोलेंगे तो टीआरपी नहीं मिलेगी. सो इंटेंस मीडिया कवरेज, एंगेज इन मोर ड्रामेटिक पोस्चरिंग रादर देन इन सब्सटेंटिव डिबेट. स्ट्रॉन्ग गवर्नमेंट विथ एब्सोल्यूट मेजॉरिटी स्क्रूटिनी बाईपास्ड. कॉन्सिक्वेंस क्या हो रहा है? अकाउंटेबिलिटी reducing, legislature stagnation, limited debate, judicial intervention hinders fair governance. Way forward. Opposition को strong करो, research support to MP, encourage a culture of respect, professionalism and participation. Recommendations of setting a minimum annual sittings. Increase the number of sittings. Initiate widespread debates on parliamentary functioning to foster public engagement. Debate start करो. Opposition, shadow cabinet, research support. Encourage a culture of respect, professionalism and participation. Increase the sitting number. So this was the topic of parliamentary productivity. प्रोडक्टिविटी कम हो रही है, उसका डेटा क्या था? 17 लाख लोकसभा में 60% ऑफ बिल 2 हफ्तों में ही पास हो गए. डिक्रीजिंग रेफरेंस ऑफ बिल टू कमिटीज, डिक्लाइनिंग अटेंडेंस. क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है? वाज प्रोडक्टिविटी गोइंग डाउन, लेस नंबर ऑफ डेज, reduced attendance, frequent disruptions, conflict of interest, only taking up topics which are hot in media. Strong government leads to bypassing of scrutiny. What is it? What is its impact? What is its impact of lower productivity? Accountability going down, quality of legislature going down, less scrutiny, less debate, hinders fair governance. So what do we do? Opposition को strong करो, committees का discussion ज़्यादा लो, a culture of respect, participation and professionalism, give MP the support, public parliamentary discussion, foster parliamentary discussion among public and increase the number of sitting. Now anti-defection law. What are the grounds for defection? Independently elected joint party, nominated member join party after 6 months, member voluntarily gives up member of political party membership if a member goes against whip without prior permission, goes against whip दूसरे पार्टी ज्वाइन कर लिया, nominated member after 6 months, independent member. What are the exceptions? Presiding officer can temporarily relinquish party membership to ensure impartiality. He may rejoin afterwards. If two-thirds member of a party are merging, if 66.66% of members are going to another party, then this is not defection. Significance, combating corruption and horse trading, ensuring government stability, corruption, stability, fostering party discipline and loyalty, ensuring candidates remain loyal to the voters who elected them, constitutional recognition to political party. The guy has to be loyal to his party as well as loyal to the people who elected them, right? Elected them, and party discipline and loyalty, government stability, and combating corruption. These four are absolutely easy. Aya Ram Gaya Ram is a term used for defectors. Now, what are the issues? There is no clear definition of defection. Wow. 4 cases we have already told, no clear definition of defection. Some provision of act are unclear and open to multiple interpretation. Partisan presiding officers, like right now, it curbs legislators' freedom of speech, enforcing party whips, lack of time limit for disqualification, prolonged delay. This is we can see that we can see this and this. Essay judgments in Quixote, Holo, Han versus Zakhiel upheld constitutional validity of 10th schedule. The speaker's decision on defection can be subject to judicial review. Speaker's decision on defection subject to judicial review. Way forward, definition दे दो इसका. Timely decision making, transparency and accountability in decision. Now delimitation, setting up boundaries for different areas based on population living there. The job is given to a special body called a delimitation commission. Parliament must make a law to create delimitation. This actually in my CA notes, do refer them. Ensures fair representation, assigns reserved seats to ST by distributing political power among state. Delimitation maintains a balance between population based representation and federal consideration. Affect the representation, affect funding of states, population based consensus. International best practice, US Senate, 2 seats to every states. Balancing representation and federal challenges, building national consensus, incentivizing population control. Parliament reforms, Venkatacharya Committee, strengthening of PC, reform questionnaire, code of conduct, other reform, professional training, information supply, codified privileges, discussing committee, and curbing criminalization of politics. So that is it for today. I think we did miss something, right? यहाँ पे एंटी डिफेक्शन पे था, the 4 we studied. उसका कुछ this law commission's 170th report, issue whips on critical situation or votes only. हम हर बात पे whips नहीं इशू कर सकते. हलीम कमिटी, voluntarily giving up membership of political party, be comprehensively defined. ये define कर दो. दिनेश गोस्वामी कमेटी, disqualification should be only in case of नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन, ऐसे गाइडलाइंस टाइम लिमिट सेट कर दो। डिसाइड हमेशा ही डिसाइड करते रहोगे, उसका टेन्योर खत्म हो जाएगा। सो दैट इज़ इट। बाय।